We have reached the part of the meeting where Caleb Schaefer, who is EPA's Portland Harbor team lead, will share some general updates from the Portland Harbor Superfund site. So Caleb, whenever you're ready, I'll pass it over to you.
Great. Thank you, Alyssa, and thank you again for the sneak peek of the movie. That was definitely, as you heard from everyone here, very, very powerful. So looking forward to having the broader community see that and take that in as well. So good evening, everyone, and thanks for being here. So we again appreciate your time, especially as the weather's getting nicer. We know it's tempting to be outside, so your presence here, engaged in this site and working on this issue is very meaningful. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. I just have a few short updates before we move into our main presentation. The first, as always, is to share our updated fact sheet, and we will put a link for that in the chat, and that was also in the meeting materials. For folks that aren't familiar with that, it's a useful tool just to get a sense of the layout of the site, all the different project areas, the different circles you can see here on the screen where remedial design is being performed, and a contact if you want to learn more about a particular area. Say you happen to live in the neighborhood near that area and want to learn more and find out what's going on. It's a useful tool for that purpose as well. So encourage folks to take a look at that if you're interested. Secondly, few updates on Cathedral Park. There will be, as we showed earlier in the schematic, there is a specific Cathedral Park working group, and they will be hosting a meeting next Wednesday at 4. It will be a virtual meeting, and Josie Clark, who is in the meeting tonight, is the lead for that effort and that meeting, and folks can reach out to her if they're interested in joining, or anyone on the EPA team, to find out more about that meeting and how to participate. Also, as many know, we have the Cathedral Park Jazz Fest coming up in July. So it's the weekend of July 14th to the 16th, and it's the 43rd annual Jazz Festival in Cathedral Park. I think it's the oldest, they say they're the oldest jazz festival west of the Mississippi. So they're in their 43rd year, and EPA will be participating with a table at the Jazz Festival, as well as DEQ and community members. So there's should be information and folks to talk about the site, ask questions, and engage with. So if you're attending that, or if you're interested, encourage folks to attend. Please stop by the tables and say hi. The next update we wanted to share was on our early remedial design informal feedback sessions. So this is, we have committed, and it's memorialized in our community involvement plan, that each of the performing parties in each of the main project areas, essentially the circles you can see here on the map, will come to the community and present a major deliverable and get input on that. And what we are calling that our early remedial design informal feedback. We will put a video linking to a YouTube video. It's just a short 11-minute video that talks about that process and how it's going to work, but I'll quickly kind of summarize that here. And so we have coming up for the River Mile 11 East project area, they will be sharing their preferred alternatives report, or as we call it, a PAR, as part of their obligation to share remedial design deliverable and get feedback from the community. So that PAR will be provided to the technical coordinating team, as well as the Willamette River Advocacy Group, and they will then provide that to their technical advisor. Many of you know Marcus, to review if assuming they decide to do that. And so we anticipate that will be around June 30th that will happen. We will also then plan to organize a presentation at the July CAG meeting, and I believe that's July 12th. And so it'll be a meeting with EPA and the River Mile 11 East performing working group and talking about essentially presenting on their PAR. And the idea is it's intended to be a higher level, roughly 30-minute presentations with a lot of opportunity to ask questions. And the purpose of this presentation will be to help provide that feedback when the technical advisor reviews it on behalf of the community members and provides those comments. And then after that input is received, EPA will then plan to review that feedback that we've received and have some sort of feedback loop, probably a presentation on the feedback that we passed forward to the River Mile 11 East group and what was not passed along, and kind of an explanation and talking through all of that. So this one is coming up, and it's the first of quite a number of these that we anticipate. So each of these project areas over the next year or so is going to be doing the same thing. So encourage folks to keep an eye out on that and join the July CAG meeting if you're interested in getting that in hearing more about this project area and the design that's occurring there. Lastly, just wanted to quickly plug again our Portland Harbor story map, and we will also put a link for that in the chat. Useful interactive tool to learn more about the site, the history of the site, and everything associated with that. We are now reflecting quarterly updates in the story map, which is part of our maintenance plan for that tool. And we encourage folks to keep using that tool, sharing it with others, and letting us know if you have any additional comments, input, or feedback. It is intended to be a dynamic tool. So encourage folks to look at that in addition to the updated fact sheet. So that concludes the updates that I had on behalf of EPA. So I will pass it back to Alyssa. Thank you, everyone.